Now, we can't wait for this. Tomorrow night, talkSPORT brings you exclusive commentary of the heavyweight rematch between Zhilei Zhang and Joe Joyce. It's live from Wembley Arena. That's Zhilei Zhang v Joe Joyce. The rematch, live and exclusive from 7 p.m. this Saturday on talkSPORT 2 before switching over to talkSPORT for the main event at 10 p.m. Let's speak to someone that knows exactly what it's like to box in front of 89,999 people. I had a ticket, I didn't go. Former super middleweight champ of the world, one of our favourite people. Carl Froch will be part of our commentary team, and he joins us now live on Drive. Hello, Carl, how are you?
80,000, come on, get it right.
It was 80,000. Sorry, 79,999, my mistake.
You got it.
Listen, I'm a big fan of yours, so very excited to chat to you about this fight. I was lucky enough to be there for the first fight, and Benny, I don't know if you heard the top of the show, Benny and I were talking about it, and Darren made a very good point that no one really expected the outcome, the Joe Joyce to lose that fight. Do you see anything different from his approach to this fight?
Yes, I think he's going to try. I think he'd be working on trying to box and get his head off the centre and not be walking into that jab and that backhand from Zhang. But it's difficult to teach an old dog new tricks. And I've seen Joe Joyce for years. I was at the England squad of him at the ELIS in Sheffield when Robert Kraken was training him for the Olympics. And he's always been the same. It's very difficult for him to change. It was unfortunate in that first fight because his eye swelled up so badly and he was injured. But you could get a reoccurring injury. And I want Joe Joyce to do well. He's such a nice bloke, and I'm friends with him. But I just feel like Zhang, he's just a wise old fox, and he can punch a bit. And he might have his number, but it's going to be a good one. I'm excited.
Carl, do you think this was always going to happen to Joe Joyce? Because you spoke about it there. You saw him when he was training with Robert Kraken. Is it one of those where because he takes so many shots that eventually this was always going to happen?
I always thought it'd happen, but happen earlier because in the amateur game, I mean, you don't wear head guards now, but the gloves are a bit more padded and it's not as rough as professional boxing, amateur boxing. It's like scoring points and it's 1-2 and 2s and 3s. You're not really throwing combination punches as much. But in the pro game, I always thought, well, when he steps in the pro ring with them 10-ounce gloves and it's almost like bare knuckle, I thought he's going to get too many like superficial injuries. His face is going to swell up. He's going to get cut. And it didn't happen, did it? But when he walked onto that one from Zhang, it closed his eye, and I just feel like now he's shown that he can bleed because he was like the Terminator, wasn't he? You could never stop him from coming forward. He just kept coming. But now he's getting a bit older. What is he, 38 years old? He's got injured. That eye could swell up again. Zhang will be aiming for that. Let's not forget, Zhang blows the gasket after about 4 or 5 rounds. So the wise tactic would be for Joyce to just stay out of trouble for 3 or 4 rounds because you know he's super fit. He's a machine, the juggernaut. It just keeps coming. So if he can get past 4 or 5 rounds, I reckon he's got a chance. But Zhang's a tough nut to crack.
Carl, let me ask you, you mentioned Joyce's age at 38, his opponent Zhang's 40, so it's a sort of a two-phrased question for you.
Yeah.
Is this the end of the road for the loser? And the winner, because it's so late in his career, will he get a shot at a title, do you think?
Maybe, because, Tyson Fury's like, he'll fight anybody really if he thinks it's going to be easy for him. He won't take Usyk because I think he's worried about Usyk, but he'll take a Zhang on, or I don't think he'd take Joe Joyce on. But I think if Joyce loses, it could be the end of the road for him. But I think with Zhang, maybe similar, but maybe he goes again because he's not at that stage where. Because Joyce is desperate to win a world title. He really wants to get there. He's been tapping on the door for a while now, never been given his opportunity. But the winner, are they going to get a shot? I think so, yeah. I think they'll be in the prime spot for somebody to give them a shot. But you've got Usyk waiting for him and Tyson Fury, so it's difficult to make them fights, especially with what's going on in Saudi Arabia. It's just making it impossible because there's so much money for them out there. It's just holding everything up. And that's why I've had to go at Tyson Fury about this Ngannou fight because I think the sport's changing. The whole thing's a bit of a wind-up for me because I'm a boxing purist. I'm a lover of the sport. And now we've got the crossover stuff. You just don't know what's going to happen, do you? Because they're just going where the money is. It's a shame. Really.
I agree. Listen, this fight is the rematch. If Joe Joyce wins it, will we see a third?
Potentially, yeah. If it's a good fight. I mean, he got stopped and dropped in the first one. Well, he kind of retired, didn't he? If this is a good fight and Joe Joyce wins, why not? I mean, if it's a great fight and the fans love it and it makes sense, if it makes money, it makes sense. And then, you know what Frank Warren's like, he'll put it on again. So potentially, yeah. But it's got to be a good fight.
When you say you know what Frank Warren's like, what does that mean?
Well, you know what he's like. He knows how to make a pound note, doesn't he? He knows how to promote the show.
Yeah.
And if he thinks the fans want to see a third one to get the ultimate decided, then he'll 100% stick it on.
Yeah.
Carl, you said about obviously Joe Joyce and Zhang both want to become world champions. Do you think either of them are good enough, though, to mix it with the likes of Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk, or do you think they're a level below?
You've mentioned 2 world champions there. Anthony Joshua's not a world champion, is he? So,
But he's been a world champion. You know, that world champion
he has
level.
been one. I think he's definitely good enough to mix it with someone Joshua, but you can't put Usyk and Tyson Fury in the same league. And I'm not being horrible. AJ's lost twice to Usyk, and I don't think he's got a chance against Tyson Fury, especially when Fury's on form. But this is the thing. He's getting older. He's getting fatter, Fury is. He struggles to get that weight off him, let's be honest. And he's slowing down. So I don't know how long he's got left in him, but Zhang or Joyce, definitely an AJ fight. Potentially a Tyson Fury fight. But Usyk, I think he obliterates all of them. He's just too good.
What about Wilder as well, Froch? Carl?
Oh, Wilder's just, I like Wilder. He's almost just got that punch at him, and that's it. But that's a great fight. I mean, would you love to see Joe Joyce against Wilder just to see what happens? Fascinating fight, that is.
Did you just call him Froch?
Yeah, I know, that's why I quickly changed the Carl.
Froch, let me ask you a question. Just sounds wrong. That does. So how do you see the fight going? Because you said it's difficult to teach an old dog new tricks. And with Joe Joyce, I agree with you. He needs to maybe back off and maybe get into the latter part of the fight if he's going to have a chance to win this. But I just don't know if he'll be able to do that. How do you see it going?
Well, my heart is saying Joe Joyce boxes and moves, keeps out of the way. I mean, he's not going to box and move, but box the best way he can and keep out of harm's way for as long as possible, ideally 4 or 5 rounds when Zhang starts blowing, and then take over, back Zhang up and get the stoppage, get the late stoppage or the points win. That's what I want to happen. Because I want the fight, I want the champions to remain in Britain. But I just think that Zhang's going to catch him. I think he's going to time him and catch him with that awkward backhand. He's going to walk him onto shots, and it could be similar to the first one.
I don't think Zhang probably gets the respect that he deserves, certainly after the first fight. But do you think if he was to win this second one, that people maybe would start taking him a little bit more seriously in this division?
I know what you're saying, and it's out of order because he's a good fighter. He's capable. You look at his record; he's got a few names on there, and he's a good, because he's old. People think, he's old and he don't look much, but actually, he knows what he's doing. He's a clever fighter, and he does deserve more respect, and he has got the chance of stepping up. But if he goes up against any of the top 2 or 3, the Fury, Usyk, and Wilder, and that, you just feel like he's a level below. It's just how professional boxing's like that. You've got the top 10, and the back 5, like ranked number 6 to 10, they just can't compete with the top 3, can they? It's like always the top 1, 2, or 3 are always so much far apart from the rest of them. And I don't know why it's like that in boxing. It's not like that in most sports, but with boxing it really is. The top 3 just separate massively from the rest. And I'm not sure Zhang really would be a trouble for the others, the world champions, Usyk and Wilder and Fury. I don't think he would be.
Froch, you've been great.
Oh,
anything else you want to say to Froch?
I was saying sorry for his Kyle.
Even Mr. Froch. What about that, Mr. Froch? Carl, we love your work. Thanks so much for coming. A real pleasure. And we look forward to listening to you over the weekend. Thanks, man.
Looking forward to it. See you later.
Cheers.
talkSPORT Drive. Super opinionated sporting debate. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.